Created during a new age of Starship technological evolution and a fond sense of retro Starship designs, the Neo Curry class would end up becoming a staple in Starfleet's vision of the 25th century. But what do we know about this amazing and unusual Starship class? Well, today we'll find out. Hello and welcome to another episode of Truth or Myth Beta Canon, a Star Trek web series that dives into the history of any given topic using beta canon sources and my own imagination to fill in the gaps. In today's episode, we're taking a look at the Neo Curry class, never before seen, but done in the style of the Starship seen in Star Trek Picard to better understand its place in Star Trek history. Please note, this is my own creation based upon the original Curry class. You see, I love weird and strange designs, and although I have never been a fan of the Curry class, I am and have always been inspired by it. And so, utilizing my limited 3D modeling skills, I created the 25th century version of that class, sort of an homage to the brilliance of those kit bashers from ages past. So of course, and as always, because this is just a bit of beta canon and fan fiction, all information relayed should pretty much be taken with a grain of stardust and only considered a little bit of Star Trek fun. And so, with all that out of the way, let's begin. The original Curry class had been a surprising but welcome addition to the fleet during the Dominion War. Hastily thrown together utilizing components from both decommissioned Excelsior and Miranda-class vessels, it was never meant to dazzle the hearts and minds of Starfleet or the Federation populace. And yet, somehow it had. Able to hold its own, and classified as a fighter craft carrier, the Curry class would become one of the most relied upon Starship classes during that war. Flash forward to the late 24th century, and Starfleet Command began to reimagine its fleet once again. With a tremendous amount of technological breakthroughs thanks to the Borg Reclamation Project, and with the 25th century and Starfleet's 250 years of exploration celebration approaching, the organization began to revive and reimagine older Starship classes to carry itself into the future. The launch of the Sagan class, the first Starship class to carry the Borg Reclamation technology, had been a complete success, designed in the style of the old Constellation class. And with that ball rolling, many other older classes would suddenly get a new lease on life, in the form of a completely revamped design filled with technological wonders the Federation had not seen since the launch of the Constitution class refit back in the early 2270s. Once the Excelsior II class dramatically entered the galactic scene in 2400, providing one of the most visually appealing updates the class had ever seen, Starfleet Command then ordered their teams of Starship designers to review all older and decommissioned Starship designs to best pick the ones that could receive a similar upgrade. And someone analyzing old classes of Starships for this retro revival noticed that the original Curry class had not been included in the review list, and in short order, thanks to its excellent track record, that decision would be changed, and the Neo Curry class would be born. Sitting at a length of 457.1 meters, the Neo Curry class would be designed to be operated by 320 officers and crew members, with an additional force of 150 fighter craft and shuttle pilots. Unlike the original Curry class, the Neo Curry class, also referred to as the Curry II class, would be painstakingly designed, with every aspect of her new mission profile being considered for the class. The Neo Curry class would have a standard safe cruising speed of warp factor 8, with an emergency maximum speed of warp factor 9.92 for 12-hour increments, making her among the fastest Starship classes of the time. The Neo Curry class would also be made quantum slipstream ready, for when a standardized version of that new technology was developed, to be easily slipped into the design. Tactically, she would contain a full arsenal of weaponry, including phaser emitter strips and torpedo launching systems capable of firing photon, quantum and transphasic torpedoes. Primary protection for the Neo Curry class would come via its newly developed quantum spectral regenerative shielding. Containing the latest shuttlecraft industrial replication technology created by the Daystrom Institute meant that the mission profile of this class could be expanded, containing enough raw materials to replicate dozens of styles of smaller craft. The Neo Curry class would add both engineer and colony construction, as well as medical emergency response vessel to her mission profile. However, every vessel of the Neo Curry class would keep a standard complement of shuttlecraft on standby for launch from the forward and aft facing shuttle bays. The Neo Curry class would also contain several large cargo bay areas designed to hold a variety of supplies for construction missions if needed, but they could also be easily converted to additional medical facilities during a medical crisis. And lastly, the Neo Curry class would contain one last newly developed bit of technology, that of the multi-tractor system. Again, another breakthrough thanks to the Borg Reclamation Project, as this technology was directly based on a Borg cube's ability to tractor and hold multiple vessels at once. Launched in 2403, the Neo Curry class would outperform her designer's expectations by leaps and bounds, all except in one area. Testing of her shuttle replication systems had uncovered several potentially disastrous flaws in that system, but in short order, these flaws would be corrected by the Daystrom Institute, retested, and eventually approved for use aboard the Neo Curry class. And thus, this surprising vessel class would go into full production, standing alongside her sister classes at the forefront of Starfleet's new Starfleet. Reimagined and redesigned based on an old thrown-together Starship class, the Neo Curry class would become so much more than anyone could have ever expected, earning this class its well-deserved, even if surprising place in Starfleet history. Thank you for watching today's episode of Truth or Myth Beta Canon. What do you think of the Neo Curry class and the historical narrative that I've created here? Do you want to see more videos like this one? Well, leave your comments in the section below, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, hitting that little bell icon so you won't miss a single video we release. Want to help the channel build colonies or respond to emergency medical situations in style? Then consider becoming a channel member subscriber or a channel patron. Both a major help that allows this channel to purchase resources and 3D models to keep it going. The link to both memberships is in the description below. Thanks again for watching, live long, and prosper.